I mean, I'm a huge advocate of AI. Like, as scary as it is, like it is scaring me lately. And I've played around with ChatGPT. It's kind of crazy.
I know this is a huge topic, but I just want to get your, brief assessment on AI, because you mentioned AI and sending stuff. And now,
Yeah.
like where the world is moving to, it's almost like you can create unlimited content. It almost feels like the next couple of years is going to be Wild West. We're going to have 7,000 emails in our inbox from like
Yeah.
everybody creating an unlimited amount of content and being able to test it. Because you can say, okay, give me 7 AI samples. We'll just throw them in there and see what happens. Like,
Yeah.
how do you feel that's going to affect the industry? Do you promote using AI? Like what's your feel on AI for specifically email marketing and specifically for this,
Yeah.
for health and beauty, because the content can be unlimited. I think for AI, like Chat GPT and all the big ones, they could probably do a really good job on anything like health and wellness
Mhm.
related. I'll
Yeah,
let
for sure.
you.
So, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of AI. Like, as scary as it is, like it is scaring me lately. And I've played around with ChatGPT. It's kind of crazy. So I'm a huge advocate of AI because I've seen, like, for us ourselves, the results it's got us. So, like, for the software we built, we're able to schedule like 80 campaigns in 2 minutes. Like,
Wow.
it's absolutely insane because our software, it pulls in all the stats from the affiliate networks, all the stats from the ESPs we use. And so we have all these stats that, first off, the AI knows from historical past performance and from the rules we tell them what to send. And so because of that, like our like EPCs, our return per contact is probably the highest in the industry just because of that AI.
Yeah.
And like I can't imagine our team scheduling emails manually. Like, it's like, how do we do that, right? Like, we have 90 campaigns to schedule. So in terms of that, I don't think anyone else uses AI like we do in that sense. But in terms of copy, yeah, I think it'll be huge because if you're like if you're sending affiliate offers, you always want to be testing different creatives. You always want to be using different creatives so it's unique. I just purchased a Jasper account this week, which I'm going to test. But for Chat GPT,
Mm.
it's like from what I've seen, it could come up with an amazing subject line. The more direct you are with it, the more specific the command, the prompt, the more specific the result it's going to deliver.
Yeah.
But then like you can say, you can give them your best subject line for an offer and say, hey, create 20 variations of the subject line, right? And
I
like
mean,
and like
the Fiverr writer is done. Like that's
oh,
basically
they're
what's
they're
happening.
done.
They're done.
90% of the
Yeah. Like
cooperators
it's just
sadly are done.
like that's crazy.
Um,
Can't
I mean,
compete.
you see like Steph and Georgia talking about AI for copy now, right? Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, in terms of email, I think it'll be huge because, yeah, like, you can give something that's been proven to work and say, hey, create 20 variations of this creative. And like, from what I've seen, it pits out pretty good copy. The best thing for me is, like, I'm a stickler with grammar and mistakes and stuff like that. And the
Yeah.
AI doesn't make mistakes. Like, there's no issues with punctuation, grammar, stuff like
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, like, people, including myself, not just for email, but some of the other like marketing initiatives I do, it's like the time is now to harness AI because, like, if you don't capitalize now, you're just gonna fall behind. Same thing with, like, I know it's not related to AI, but same thing with creating this like second email list. It used to be taboo and now everyone's doing it. So if you're not doing it, same thing, if you're not using AI, like, you're gonna get left behind. You're gonna
Yeah.
leave money on the table. You're not gonna have as much success. So it's scary, but I think
Yeah.
people have to become better, like operators, more strategic, better leaders, or else AI it might take your job. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the thing is, you can't be afraid of technology. When the internet was created, when, every big kind of technology that's come out, it's just, it makes like, it makes people's lives easier. So they want to use it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're afraid of AI taking over your job, then you just got to up your skills. You gotta get better. You gotta have better analysis of numbers in order to see, because AI is going to maybe spit out content for you, but AI is not necessarily make all the decisions on how you're going to do things and so forth.
Yeah,
It's still a
exactly.
machine, right? And
Yeah.
you mentioned Steph and Georgia. I just want to tell everybody I do have an interview with Steph and Georgia, so I'm going to post it down below. So if you guys want to take a look, but it'd be interesting to hear because I did interview Stefan over a year ago, and like
Yeah.
obviously AI wasn't what it is now, so it'd be interesting to hear his views again.
Yeah.
But any copywriter or anybody who's out there writing anything really should kind of understand what's happening with AI. The thing that, for me, as somebody who pays for content and gets content written and so forth, Google and like all the indexing sites, they like search engines and so forth, they're decent, I guess, at right now identifying what's written by AI. Some say yes, some say no. So you could get penalized on a search level. I'm wondering if on an email level, that's going to happen as well, meaning they'll be able to say that this is written by AI and then put you in spam or something like that. Like, I feel like in the next 5 years, there's going to be so much content created. It's almost like Google is going to be obliterated because it's just not already there's an insane amount of content being created. But imagine now I can literally just spit out a subject line and get 20 pieces of content done in the same amount of time that I get one.
Yeah.
I don't even know how Google's going to manage kind of all this,
Yeah. I was speaking about that the other night because I was looking for SEO and I was under the impression that it's against Google's terms of use, I think is what it's called, but that they can't track that well whether something's been AI written or not. But my friend was showing me certain tools that they can actually use now to track.
Yeah.
But it brings up a really good point. There's techniques that you can do to get out of the promo tab to inbox, but essentially you're tricking Gmail, for example. I know there's a lot of tricks out there, but that I don't want to trick them because once they catch on to what I'm doing, they're going to ban me. Right. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that you can do out there to maybe get good results very short term, but in the end, it might bite you in the ass. So I would say, just be careful with what you're doing and whether it's SEO and having AI write these perfect articles that are going to rank, or if it's tricking Gmail to get out of the promo in the inbox. I prefer best practices and doing things in a kosher, proper way, as opposed to kind of tricking them, because that might bite you in the ass.
Well, even for email creatives, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some tools out there where, Gmail, Hotmail, whatever, all the big email providers are going to be able to maybe detect, an AI, and you will get penalized by going into spam or going into promo or going, your email's not getting delivered as much. So, I mean, I think it's inevitable, but I feel like that right now it is the Wild West in the sense that when you were a kid, you go to a public pool and there was that thing that if you peed in the pool, there'd be a red circle around you. I don't know if you heard that. When I was a kid, that was the thing. You go to a pool, as gross as public pools are, you go in there, as disgusting as they are, they say, if you pee, there's gonna be that red circle. So you always had that in your head. Oh my God, if I pee, there's gonna be this red circle. I'm gonna be embarrassed. So I feel like it's the same kind of analogy you can use for Gmail or Google and indexing and SEO, and whether it's for email, if you're going to be put in spam, is that do we there's almost a sense that Google could tell, but we don't know, maybe not, maybe. So do you want to take that chance? For me, I want my content natively written still. And, I will test AI for other things, but, if you're ranking well on SEO or you're making some gains or your emails have good deliverability, do you want to take a chance that you're going to start creating this AI and somehow there's going to be some watermark or something, and then you're going to get literally stiff after years of, performance. So it's hard, but now you might be paying people on Fiverr. They may be using AI to send you.
They probably are.
It's crazy. It's going to be so difficult. Deep fakes, all this stuff. I mean, this is another conversation, but it's nuts.
Yeah. I think an opportunity now for these older archaic companies that haven't caught on to AI is create a content agency now, just use AI, I wouldn't personally do that, but right. There's probably that opportunity to make a lot of money before everyone catches on.
Well, girls and boys, do not do what Kyle suggested. We're not looking for some bad biz op opportunities here. But there, there's always a way of capitalizing on an early trend, and that's one of them, right? Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious. I know it doesn't relate to email exactly, but I've tested and I've seen people test AI writing. So it kind of scares me. AI knows our industry really well. It knows what an upsell is. It knows what a VSL script is. And so I've seen people put in really strict commands, and it's put out a pretty well-written VSL script or a pretty well-written sales letter for an offer. And so already creating a good offer to have success with affiliates. It's so competitive now, which is why I offer this service to make these guys more money so they can offer bigger affiliate commissions and get more traffic and stuff like that. But it's like, how many more offers are going to be coming out now because of this? Because like these AI tools, it knows what a VSL is, it knows what an upsell page is, it knows what a lead is, it knows like all this stuff. And like, you could be really specific, like use like, I want a weight loss offer that uses a scientific approach that talks about this ancient Chinese herb, and like it does all the research, and like it's pretty scary. So I'm curious to just how it'll affect our industry like as a whole, I guess.
I mean, legally, and this is a super interesting topic, and it could take like hours and hours. But legally, the law is always like 5-10 years behind. Like that's how I see things. Governing bodies and stuff are going to have to come in here, because it's just going to be like for me, like I was thinking, I'm like, SEO is a big thing for us, and SEO is like a big thing for a lot of companies, especially like non-direct response, more like, business to business and stuff like that. I'm like, this is going to have so much content that like your search rankings could literally get obliterated in like 3 months by somebody who's just doing so much more and cutting corners and stuff like that. It's scary to think, scary and exciting, because I get kind of like, I'm a weirdo. Like I get kind of excited, like what's going to happen? Like, oh my God, and then I figure it out somehow. I figure something else out. But I mean, I think like the big players are going to get obliterated, and there's going to be new big players. There's going to be new stuff. And I think Google search, the actual search, and Gmail, and just how email works. Like, I think they're both kind of hand in hand. They haven't changed in so long, like the way it is. It's like since the internet exists, like email is delivered pretty much the same way. Like I always like find it really funny when I see somebody that has an AOL email. I'm like, oh my God, like what? You're still using that? That's crazy. But like email works the same way. Search works the same way. And if we know anything about technology in our industry, direct response or anything, internet related technology, is that it's due for a disruption.
Yeah.
So search is not going to be the same way, and email is going to start being different, because at a certain point, if every email marketer is spitting out 20, 30, 50 pieces of content a day and spitting out emails, people will not be able to keep up. Like I can't go through all these emails even if I wanted to, right? So, I mean, it's going to be interesting times. I'm excited to see, and I obviously, I'm curious to know, and maybe we'll catch up again to like how AI, like in 6 months from now, like how has this affected? Hope you found today's session valuable. If you have any questions for me or just want to connect, please feel free to visit my website, mariasparagis.com. That's MariaSparagis.com. I'd love to hear what you're working on, so drop me a line on any hot button issues your business is experiencing. And remember, don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once.